If you're using the AI assistant Claude to automate tasks, you already know it's a total game changer. But, with all these new ways to schedule tasks popping up, it's getting kind of easy to get lost. So today, we're going to cut through all that confusion and show you exactly how to build automations that actually, work. So let me just ask you this. Have you ever set up an automated task, walked away feeling pretty good about yourself, only to have it just vanish? Poof, gone. You're definitely not alone. It's a super common frustration, and honestly, it almost always comes down to just picking the wrong tool for the job. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. I mean, the stakes are pretty high here. Choosing the wrong scheduling method in Claude's world isn't just a little inefficient. It means your automation could completely fail without a single warning, leaving you scratching your head wondering what on earth went wrong.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking at those common traps, those silent killer tasks. Then we'll dive into the 4 different paths you can take for automation. 3 that run right on your machine, and 1 that lives in the cloud. And to wrap it all up, we'll give you a clear playbook, a decision matrix really, to help you pick the right tool every single time.
Right, let's tackle the problem head on. Why do these tasks just die silently? Well, it's because every single scheduling method in Claude has its own set of rules, what it can see, what it can touch, and how long it's allowed to exist. Picking the wrong one is basically like sending your little automation into a maze it can never get out of. So, to navigate that maze, what you really need is a map. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to break down the 4 main paths you can take to schedule tasks right now. Think of them as 4 different roads to the same place. But trust me, the journey on each of those roads is completely different. That's right, 4 totally different ways to get this done. And I'm not just talking about tiny differences in how you type the command. No, these are fundamentally separate mechanisms for automation. And getting that, well, that's the first real step to mastering this whole thing. And here they are. You've got 2 options right inside the Claude desktop app, Cowork and Code. Then there's the super handy /loop command for all you command line folks. And last but not least, the cloud option, which uses GitHub Actions. Don't worry, we're going to go through all of them. So let's kick things off with the first 3. Now, all of these share one absolutely critical requirement. For them to work, your computer has to be on and running. We're talking about automations that live and breathe right there on your local machine. Okay, this table really lays it all out. The loop command, it's tied directly to your terminal session. You close the window, it's gone. Now, the 2 desktop options, Cowork and Code, they can actually survive a computer restart. But here's the kicker, the really important part. Cowork is totally sandboxed, meaning it can't touch your local files. Code, on the other hand, has the keys to the kingdom, full access to your machine. Let's zoom in on Loop for a sec. This thing is fantastic for short-term, repetitive stuff you want to do right in your terminal. For all you developers, think of it like a temporary cron job. But you gotta remember that temporary part. It has a hard 3-day limit, and it dies the very second you close that terminal session. No exceptions. And here's a really weird thing you need to know about Loop. It's not exact. It's not a precise clock. If you tell it to run every 5 minutes, but the agent is busy doing something else when that 5-minute mark hits, it just waits. And once it's free, it starts a brand new 5-minute timer from that moment. It doesn't try to catch up, it just delays and resets. Now on to the 2 desktop options. This is probably the most important difference to really get. Cowork runs inside a protected little bubble, a virtual machine. It's great for tasks that need to talk to the internet through plugins, like, say, generating a report from some web API. Code, though, it runs wild and free right on your machine. It has full access to your files, your Git projects, your terminal, everything. It's built for tasks that need to mess with your local dev setup. And here's a little gotcha for both of those desktop schedulers. They don't queue up jobs they missed. So if you set an hourly task and your laptop is asleep for 4 hours, it's not going to run 4 times when you wake it up. Nope. It'll just run once to catch up on the most recent missed hour. That's it. So by default, these tasks basically have amnesia. Every time they run, it's like the first time all over again. But you can give them a memory. By having your task read and then write to a simple file, maybe called state.json, you create a log of what happened last time. This is the secret to building really smart automations, ones that can learn from errors or pick up right where they left off. All right, so we've covered all the ways that depend on your machine being on. But what if you need something to run like clockwork even when your laptop's lid is closed and you're sound asleep? Well, that's where our 4th and final method comes in,
running your tasks in the cloud. And, I mean, the difference here is night and day. Local tasks, they need your computer on. The cloud method using GitHub Actions, it runs on GitHub's computers, so your machine can be completely off. So what's the catch? Well, the scope is much, much smaller. It's designed to live and operate almost entirely inside of one specific GitHub repository. So what's this perfect for? Well, think about anything and everything related to managing your code. It's amazing for automatically reviewing new pull requests, or for trying to fix a build that failed in your CI pipeline. That's your continuous integration system that builds and tests your code. Or maybe for running a security check on your code every night.
Okay, we have gone through all 4 paths. So now for the most important part. How do you actually choose? Let's tie this all together with a simple playbook that you can use for pretty much any automation idea you have. And here it is, your decision matrix. It's pretty straightforward, broken down by what you're doing and for how long. Need to do a quick coding task, like checking a deployment status for a few hours? Use /loop. Need a long-running task, like daily code reviews that has to read your local files? That's a job for the code scheduler in the desktop app. How about a business task, like pulling a weekly report? Use the cowork scheduler. And for anything that lives and breathes inside your GitHub repo, like fixing build failures, GitHub Actions is hands down the way to go. Okay, one last thing, and this is super important. It is so tempting to give your scheduled tasks full auto-accept permissions so they can just run without bothering you. Please do not do this until you have tested your task inside and out manually. An autonomous AI with the wrong instructions can cause some serious damage, so always, always test first. And I want to leave you with this thought from another user named Fan. These new scheduling features are completely changing what's possible. As Fan points out, the vast majority of things you'd want to automate can now be done right from the Claude desktop app. It's really becoming a true automation powerhouse. So there you have it. You've got the playbook. You know the 4 paths, you know their strengths, and you know their weaknesses. The only real question left is, what amazing, tedious, or boring task are you going to automate first? Thanks for tuning in.